With their life streamed into millions of homes through glitzy TV specials, interviews, and social media updates, the Duggar family has stood tall as a towering symbol of conservative Christian beliefs. For years, the Duggars were idealized by their admirers as an idyllic family unit, complete with traditional courtship attire, broad grins, many families, and modest attire. However, in the background, fissures were constantly appearing. Every decision, slip, and whispered rumor is magnified under the spotlight, and shame follows swiftly once murmurs turn into cries. At the moment, all eyes are on John and Abbie Burnett Duggar. Despite their long-deserved status as one of the more steady and ordinary Duggar marriages, the pair is currently embroiled in a scandal that could ruin the already fragile Duggar family name. The perfect pair. Many saw John and Abbie's 2018 marriage as the savior story for the Duggar family. John and Abbie's love story appeared incredibly authentic in contrast to others who adhered to rigid dating protocols, such as timid side hugs and lengthy, uncomfortable chats, accompanied by an awkward chaperone. The Duggar ladies welcomed Abbie, a nurse with aspirations of her own, with open arms. The portrayal of John, a certified pilot and police officer, as one of the more mature Duggar sons, was accurate. They appeared to be the perfect pair, capable of stepping away from the limelight and establishing a clean life for themselves. However, one's public image is fragile, and achieving perfection wears one down. Dissatisfaction revealed. It began gently. Those who follow the Duggar family on Instagram have observed Abbie's few appearances. It was as if her smiles were contrived. John, who was once lauded for being calm and collected, seemed progressively anxious whenever he went out in public. Were John and Abbie dissatisfied? That was the question on fan forums. Quietly defying the Duggars' stringent regulations was Abbie. Alternatively, did the couple just not know how to handle the scrutiny that came with being a public figure and raising a family? For a long time, the Duggars had depended on professionally staged photos. A sight of a pumpkin patch here, a shot of everyone in matching outfits there, to promote the idea of unity. People were already suspicious, but they became much more so with each strange smile and enigmatic caption. What started it all? The incident that turned everything on its head then occurred. Reportedly, tensions flared up at a family gathering that was supposed to celebrate another Duggar engagement. According to eyewitnesses, John and the father of the family, Jim Bob, got into a violent dispute. An insider murmured, "John raised his voice like I'd never heard before." He expressed to Jim Bob his exhaustion with the constant fibbing, pretense, and covering up of the family's misdeeds. Everyone must stand together in Duggarland. There can be no way for the foundation to have visible flaws. However, the unwritten rule was never to air the family's dirty laundry, and John's tantrum violated that norm. The fan accounts and gossip blogs were abuzz within hours. An escalating family fight was depicted in screenshots, anonymous tips, and purported recordings. Abbie, trapped in the center. Fans were stunned by John's defiance, but it was Abbie who became the target of blame. The Duggar family's loyalists mused that Abbie was leading John astray by pushing him to rebel against his father's rule. Those who felt she was too submissive to speak out against the oppressive standards of Duggar femininity praised her as a quiet heroine. Because she was in the middle of the action, everyone was watching Abbie. Rumors of their breakup spread whenever she made public appearances without John. Tempers flared up if she failed to attend a family gathering. Inside the Duggar circle, even her once lauded nursing job was recast as unbiblical independence by enemies. Embarrassment on a grand scale. It wasn't just an isolated incident of shame. The news, gossip websites, and hashtags on social media were all touched by it. A tabloid yelled out, "Duggar Civil War. John and Abbie reject family rules," exclaimed someone else. Commentators on YouTube exclaimed, "The Duggar dynasty shattered from within." There was an opinion from every supporter with a Twitter and every critic with a blog. Some others thought the Duggars' hypocrisy was causing them to crumble. Some portrayed John and Abbie as courageous rebels who were finally able to break free of authority. The once honorable Duggar family name has become a byword for controversy, strife, and shame. Conflicts within families and private things became much worse. Don, according to sources, was subtly pulling away from Duggar family efforts, such as not wanting to be in promotional materials or group photos. The Duggars' family nights, a tradition meant to keep the family together, apparently ended with Abbie no longer attending. Jim Bob, who had a reputation for controlling the family's public persona, was allegedly enraged. Even if it was humiliating enough to lose one child to controversy, losing John, who was one of his most trusted sons, was unbearable. Unfortunately, the affair caused misery to the matriarch Michelle. She had always been proud to show her children as a cohesive flock, but now she had to confront the hard truth that even the most submissive ones could wander off. The focus shifts to critics. The Duggar family had been predicting for a long time that the carefully built image of the family will crumble. Now, as the drama between John and Abbie unfolded, the audience appeared to be split down the middle. The doubters, those who thought the Duggars were finally receiving the punishment they deserved, their double standards laid out for all to see. The fans who sympathized, supporters who felt bad for John and Abbie because they thought they were the victims of their overbearing family, and the critical public. The common thread, though, was humiliation. Even the unstoppable Duggar name could be shattered. Recovering from the scandal over the subsequent months, John and Abbie avoided the limelight. Sightings of them in public decreased, and their Instagram profiles became silent. Everyone was wondering if they were planning a rebranding, a memoir, a tell-all interview, or a new YouTube channel. Some thought all they wanted to do was save their marriage and shield their child from the mayhem. The Duggar family, meanwhile, rushed to fix their reputation by emphasizing more positive images in Bible scriptures. The truth, however, remained unaffected by the carefully selected material. The family had never previously been humiliated on such a grand scale. Critical reasons for the scandal. The Duggars' narrative is about more than just the drama between John and Abbie. It's on how easily one's reputation can be tarnished in this digital era. Impossibility is the foundation upon which the Duggars' kingdom rested. Conflicts arise in any family, but when yours is a brand, they become a source of shame. The difficulties that John and Abbie demonstrated that even the narratives that are the most polished can fall apart. And once humiliation takes hold, it spreads like wildfire, engulfing not only individuals, but entire lineages as well. Final thoughts. The high cost of being flawless. In the end, the story of John and Abbie Duggar serves as a cautionary tale about family popularity and the cost of striving to live up to unattainable standards. For many years, they were the golden couple, the ones who had the potential to avoid the scandals that affected their brothers. Instead, they became the very emblem of the vulnerability of the Duggar family. Their humiliation served as a mirror that reflected the flaws in the dynasty. The days of invincibility for the Duggars are ended. Regardless of whether John and Abbie decide to rebuild or retreat permanently, the world would never again look upon the empire with the same eyes they did before it was brought to its knees in disgrace.